The defending champion U.S. women's soccer team is going into their first World Cup since agreeing to share their prize money with the U.S. men's team.
It's just going to be very competitive. It's going to be the most watched World Cup. It's going to be the best one yet.
The Americans are going after an unprecedented third consecutive World Cup championship, but that's not the only goal on players' minds.
There's still a big discrepancy between the men's prize money from FIFA and the women's, and to me that's unacceptable.
FIFA is a non-profit organization. This year, they've more than tripled the total prize money for the Women's World Cup compared to 2019. But the $110 million announced by FIFA in March is a fraction of what the men received just last year.
We still have a lot of fight left, and there's a lot of room for improvement.
The U.S. is the most successful team in FIFA Women's World Cup history, winning the tournament 4 times. The only team with more World Cup gold is Brazil's men's team, with 5 titles. U.S. forward Kristen Press won back-to-back titles in 2015 and 2019, but has been sidelined for a year with an injury.
When we won the World Cup in 2015, it became abundantly clear that the way that we were being valued by our employer did not match the way that we were valued by the world.
Press is one of the players who filed a lawsuit against the U.S. Soccer Federation for gender discrimination, just ahead of the 2019 tournament in France.
When you play in a World Cup, you really shut out the world. You have to be dedicated and focused entirely on your craft, on what happens between the lines. But yet we had that drumbeat in the back of our minds that this was for something bigger.
The lawsuit alleges a number of inequalities compared to the men's team, including pay disparities, training conditions, and game promotion. In its response, the U.S. Soccer Federation argued that the men's and women's team were not comparable because of their different schedules, obligations, and compensation, and that the women's team had no counterparts on the men's team. The U.S. Soccer Federation did not reply to a request for comment.
Equal pay! Equal pay!
After a 3-year legal battle, the players and U.S. Soccer reached a $24 million settlement. Both the men's and the women's team reached new labor deals with U.S. Soccer that aligned the team's pay. The two teams also agreed to pool and share their prize money from their respective World Cups. This year's tournament will include more teams, more prize money, and more fanfare than ever before. The Women's World Cup debuted in 1991, 61 years after the first men's tournament. In recent years, the women's event has made large gains in viewers, but its prize money remains far behind the men's tournament. FIFA says the 2019 Women's World Cup in France drew 1.1 billion viewers worldwide, 31% of the almost 3.6 billion people who watched the 2018 Men's World Cup in Russia. But it awarded the women just 7.5% of the $400 million prize money that it awarded the men. In June, FIFA announced that, for the first time in a Women's World Cup, a portion of the prize money would be earmarked specifically for the players. In the past, federations generally decided how much of the prize money to give players. In a statement, FIFA President Gianni Infantino called the distribution model unprecedented. Each player will earn a minimum of $30,000, with the women on the winning team getting $270,000.
Having them direct payments to the players is huge. I mean, it's a life-changing thing for some of these players.
The payment model for 2023 was welcomed by FIFPro, an umbrella organization that represents 65,000 men's and women's soccer players and their unions worldwide.
The biggest thing probably at the minute is making sure that the agreement, the conditions, the compensation system that we were able to put in place together with FIFA are actually being implemented.
Because of a unique mechanism in their collective bargaining agreements, whatever the American women win this year, they'll share with the U.S. men's team. It works like this. Let's say the U.S. women take first place. FIFA has allotted $4.29 million in prize money for the 2023 Winning Member Association. In this example, that's U.S. Soccer. Each of the 23 players on the roster gets $270,000. That's another $6.21 million. Combined, that's $10.5 million from FIFA for winning the Women's World Cup. For the Americans, that money would get pooled with what the U.S. men's team won for reaching the knockout stage in their World Cup last year, for a total of $23.5 million. A portion of that goes to the US Soccer Federation, and the men's and women's teams split the rest. FIFA says it's modernizing football to be global, accessible, and inclusive in all aspects. In a video posted on social media just days before the 2023 World Cup kickoff, players from co-host country Australia highlighted the gap in FIFA prize money between the men's and women's competitions.
Collective bargaining has allowed us to ensure we now get the same conditions as the Socceroos, with one exception. FIFA will still only offer women 1/4 as much prize money as men for the same achievement.
FIFA says it's aiming for equality in the prize money for the 2026-2027 World Cup cycle. That would be a 300% increase for the women, if the men's prize money remains at $440 million.
We're seeing growth across the globe in the women's game at a league level, at an international level. The support's there, and I think that is going to make it the best World Cup ever.